Hey, welcome back to our live. It's your girl Tiara and
Risha J.
And we're here with our Real 3 Talk radio show, podcast show. And today we're going to get into some deep topics, okay? So we definitely want people to come up, give your opinion. Okay, I'm gonna put the invite in the chat. All right, make sure you guys like this video, share this video to increase our algorithm. So we'll definitely appreciate that. If you have any input, anything you want to add to the conversation, the link is in the chat. Okay, so first we're going to start off with this video of AKON, basically describing why men should be gods and why men don't need women to procreate. Okay. What's up, Reed? Okay, Reed in the house. What?
Reed.
If y'all need some beats, Reed, we was just talking that we need some music. We was just saying that. So we definitely gonna have to go to your page. Put your page and your link in the chat. If anybody need any beats, any sounds, our boy Reed is amazing. I love his beats. I love his music. I actually have some. So definitely hit him up. Put your information in the chat. So let me go ahead and play this video, okay? And get y'all opinions. Anything you want to add, Risha?
Let's get to this video.
Let's get to this video.
Whole role is to support the man. The man, we are the kings and the divine of this universe. A woman can never compare to the man. They have to understand that here in America. The woman don't create life. They support the creation of life. The man is who create life.
Every time I say it, they laugh at me.
Man, we're gods. We the ones that create life. And let me give you an example of the science of it. A man right now can create life without a woman, but a woman can't create life without a man. If I wanted to create life right now without a woman, I would just shoot my sperm, put it in the incubator, and just give it 9 months, even maybe less with today's science, and a baby will be born. A woman can't do that. So men, we are the creators of life in actuality.
What is going on? Go ahead, Darish.
How can you? Okay, if that's the case, then so you're telling me we don't need a male to create a baby. Like, where would your baby get the nutrients and all that? Like, an incubator? These are not chickens. You're not trying to hatch chickens. Like, if that's the case, then of course it's vice versa. Females can make a baby without a male. So do that leave us in the same standard because we're just human? I mean, we're all human.
How I look at this whole man should be treated as God, Black women are gods. I look at it as a perception of the people who believes it.
Yeah.
And we have to remember, AKON is from Africa. African, now if I'm wrong, please somebody say I'm wrong. But in their culture, they have this idea that the man is the leader. The man is the one who is giving instructions. Yeah, that's like
the alpha male.
The alpha male. And they can marry up in some cultures.
Yeah.
Marry more than one woman. So when with that idea, how I look at it as he's trying to basically put his culture bringing and ideas on the world, but he's big wrong because you can't just nut in an incubator, wait 9 months,
Put a
and have a
baby
baby.
in the incubator. In the
You
incubator.
need both. I don't understand this rhetoric like women should submit to men. I understand that if a woman is comfortable and if a man is comfortable, they will submit.
If he's leading properly.
But there are men that don't even like to submit.
Yeah, but if they're leading properly, then I feel more comfortable to submit to you. But if you just going down like a street with cars, then hey, we on the same level. It's like I'm the man now. Like, what are you talking about? Calm down, little baby.
I'm the baby.
Ain't no way, because we're both men. It's like, if you're not leading me properly, we're both men.
So what is your idea of a man? Like, what do you think qualifies somebody to call themselves a man?
I don't know. I just feel like a man should be about his business for one. Like, and I know females make excuses too, and they should be, more accountable for their actions. But like, I don't know, just I guess being brave, being able to have a faith, like, because I'm Christian, so like you ain't gotta be Christian or nothing, but like just not like having a level-headed mind, like you're positive and gotta like your head on right for me. Like I don't want you a loose cannon, and when you get drunk, you bobbing and weaving on the tables and stuff. No, I don't want that.
Okay, so could that not be said for women as well?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's some females out here.
So then what makes it different?
It's nothing. It's not different. It's the same. It's just like wrong is wrong. Like whether you're a female or you're a male, we all human. At the end of the day, like if a male cut his wrist open and a female cut their wrist open, we're gonna bleed the same.
Exactly.
And we feel the same. So it's just like the only thing that says we different is our genitals. That's it.
Right. So in the bigger context behind the question is we are all defining what a man is based on our culture, a woman based on our culture, based on concepts. But that does not mean that is what women have to be or what men have to be.
Yeah.
So with Kanye saying, oh, the man should be treated like God because of wrong ass information. But even if women can create, it takes both. It takes both. It takes a woman and it takes a man. That's when you get the divine trinity. It's pure creation. It takes both. However, the men, that's why I titled this video as Unbalanced Men. Now, I'm not saying that they're not unbalanced women out there.
Most definitely are. Maybe most than men's. More than men's.
It's unbalanced through the individual and through our mind.
The universe as one.
It's very unbalanced because, like, for example, a man can, have 4 or 5 girlfriends and cheat and be a player, and if a woman does it, she's a whore.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
not balanced,
and it's not justified for a woman. That's just like you feeling comfortable with, talking to me crazy or talking to me out like you're not calling me by my name. I should feel that same way. Like I'm comfortable calling you out your name. Like you don't if my thing is, if you don't like what's done to you, then that means don't do it to the next person.
Exactly.
Because you're opening up the floor for somebody to do that to you.
And on another note, what is a man? We are in times. What is a woman? Because we're in times where there's trans men, there's trans women.
Yeah, that's a lot.
People who are not physically a woman or a man, but present themselves as a woman and man. So it's just women and men are ideologies. And the fact that there's so many unbalanced ideology when it comes to gender, how does that then affect us as a society? And I think it affects us because there's men like AKON going out here saying any motherfucking thing that's not even correct, not scientifically correct. And he's pushing this agenda. This is why men should just be treated like gods across the board, is because they have sperm. Not nothing about your character, not nothing about your community, not nothing about who you are, but just the simple fact that you're a man. And I think that goes with women too. There's some women like, okay, I'm a woman, so I automatically
should have high standards.
Exactly. We're gonna get into another video, and let's see how y'all think about this video, because I think this is another interesting take that it makes you think. It makes you think. So let's go ahead and get into this video.
Get them brains, get them thinking.
My question was, do you fuck with a real woman?
Let me answer that question.
And the reason why I asked is
listening.
because if you fuck with a real woman, she's going to agree with you. Hey, maybe I shouldn't step outside wearing this, nasty ass shit.
Let me answer that. This is the problem. The real woman is standing too close to the hoes, so we don't know the difference until we start talking to y'all. No, listen. I met a lot of women. It don't mean, I don't care if they from the hood. I don't care if they got two parents. Their interests are the same. It's like right now, right? If you see 10 lions coming down the street, are you going to try to figure out which lion going to bite your ass or not? You're going to be like, them 10 lions. So unfortunately, the real woman agree with too much shit that these hoes is on, so we don't know the fucking difference. Y'all gotta stand far away from the hoes, because y'all dress like them. Y'all wear the same shit they wear. Right. Y'all listen to the same music they listen to. And y'all stand for the same shit they stand for. In most cases, not you, baby, but in most cases, the real women got too much in common with the hoes. Let me give you an example.
So, the real women is very similar to hoes, so men don't know how to distinguish the two. But so I find that interesting. Is that true?
Why is it a category? Like, why are we put in a category? Like, a woman is a woman. You got women that's young, you got women that's older, you got women that's older that act young, you got women that's young that act older. But it's just like, if that's not the woman for you, then just move on. You ain't got to sit up there, oh, well, that's a hoe. No, like, what about you? So we got real men's and we got man hoes.
How can we as women differentiate the difference? What's the difference? You know, because I've heard this line a lot, and people be like, pick better. And how can you pick better when men don't, or women don't give you their true representative until months or years?
Right. Like, that's why they say, like, you just gotta weigh it. Like, with a person, I don't know, it's just like you have that feeling if you know this person not for you. And it's up to you to act on them feelings. Now, if you just waste your time and just keep ignoring the feelings, then it's just, I don't know, like.
Okay, we have a comment from a Divine. Men are the same way. Like, what is he talking about? They should consider that with their own friends and pick better friends.
Exactly.
Wasn't we just saying that?
Y'all don't even have good friends. And y'all can't even take good friends from me.
Like, sip tea, because you say pick better men, but you don't encourage men to be better. Just like we was talking about on the other live, when people dog at Russell Wilson, but they uplift Future. Like, the whole concept of society. So when I'm speaking on a society type of view. When we call a man or a woman, or we can't distinguish the two, or we can't tell, that's just not men, that's women too. But the funny thing about this whole question is, I can't distinguish if you're a good woman, if you act like this, or you subscribe to this, when that's the woman y'all like. That's the woman y'all like. Y'all literally, not all men, but that is what attracts men. People are singing about acting like women, and men are attracted to it. So it's one thing to say, oh, I don't know what a real woman is because y'all are on the same level as thought ass women. However, you like thought-ass women.
Yeah, and you hang around thought-ass dudes. Like,
yeah, that's in your whole, that's your reality.
Right, we on the same type of time you on.
And my thing is, does that really matter?
No, it
does
don't.
That really matter?
It
Because
really
if that was the case, how are strippers getting married?
That is possible.
How does that really matter? Somebody say men talk down on each other as friends, like no, and feel like they have to be somebody in front of them because he'll be judged. Exactly. And I think another unbalanced trait in our society is that it's cool to disrespect women. Most men, when you're disrespecting women, they're not going to say anything or they're going to add on. It's very rare to find a man, that's like, nah, don't do that. Don't play. Don't be a hoe. I don't hear it.
No. Oh, go home. And then we never know. Maybe it's that one guy out there that does it.
But are they good to you?
Or who good to me?
The same men that are giving feedback.
Giving feedback about what?
About telling a man who is saying, like, don't do that. That's wrong. Look out for your girl. Are those the same man that's doing that shit to their girl?
I ain't no telling. Like,
here's an opinion from a male. He said, here's the thing. The double standards are running rampant and have created a lot of division. That's what we see. The desire for equality between the sexes is kind of silly. Okay, so what do you mean by the desire to be treated equal is silly? Because don't get me wrong, am I kind of delaying?
Yeah, a little bit.
See, I knew it. I don't know why. Hold on. Yeah, I'm kind of delaying. I hate that. But here's the thing. I also believe that even though a man and a woman can play different roles, that's only if they subscribe to the ideology of their culture.
Yeah.
Depending on what your culture is what you identify as a woman or a man. So it's division because people are now having different standards of belief. But does that really define a man or a woman? I feel like that is individual perceptions. Some men are okay with marrying strippers. Some women are okay with marrying deadbeats baby daddies. It's your perspective. Now, what perspective are we having as a culture that is our downfall? I think that needs to be touched on because what a man is and what a woman is, it depends on the individual person. Then if you're going by culture-wise or by religion-wise, what is that?
Yeah. Who said
what is the difference? Why can't women and men be treated equally? What is the difference? Rand Daniels, honey.
It's the ego, maybe.
What is the difference?
Maybe the ego.
You hear this too. A lot of women don't respect men. Is there something to be respected from men? Okay, we got him again. He said, I mean, that men or women are different. Women are the life bringers and the creatrix or the creatives. Men are the spark and the energy that aids in correction. Therefore, there is a fundamental difference. Okay, now, so it's interesting that Daniels came, honey. Honey, he's spilling the tea because I actually agree with him.
Is it a coincidence? I ask you. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence?
He is typing, honey. But yes, I believe that the women do create life and the bringers of life, and a man aids in that creation. Kanye, I don't know if y'all saw this, if you was in here, but Kanye says the exact difference. He contradicts that. He said we are the aid in creation and men are the creators.
Yeah.
So, Ron Daniel, so with this statement, you believe there's differences because one is supposed to aid in creation and one's supposed to create. So when you think about that on a man and woman scale, how does that translate to how women and men supposed to be in life? Since I'm the creator, what differences is it for me as a female than a man who's supposed to aid creation? I mean, is all this shit supposed to ran by me and y'all supposed to be my employers? Am I the one supposed to be creating things? Is that what you're saying?
But it is females out here creating things. It's females out here creating paths and everything for themselves. So, I mean,
men are the same way.
I understand they thinking like back in the day because like way back in the day when females didn't have the right to vote. Like I understand then, like, okay, y'all feeling like we the top dog, like
yeah, because that's because it's the society though.
But it's like in today's society, you cannot use them same old antics. Like no, no. It's like come on board. Like we can be equal now. Like come on. I just feel like it's just the mentality of like generations and generations back then. Like feeling like they had to be the breadwinner. They was the one working and doing all the extra stuff, and females was just sitting at home keeping the house clean and taking care of their babies.
So what about transgenders?
Well, what about them?
Let's see. Okay, Rand Dyer said the feminine being is the creator. Simply means they are the womb. They are placed that the energy synthesizes. However, the masculine is the battery and the spark that deposit the energy. That makes sense because you know what? I actually seen a documentary that had a camera, like a microscopic camera, that actually went into the woman while they were effing and seeing the initial, sperm hitting the egg, and it is like a little explosion.
Yeah.
So I understand that. I understand biologically the difference. However, when it comes to the characteristics of a man and the characteristics of a woman, how does that relate? Due to biology, you should behave like this as a woman and a man like this. What is that? So since I'm the creator, since I'm a woman and I created the life and I'm the womb, what is my place in society as a woman? And since the man is the masculine and the battery, what is his place? And then you have to think about people who are born biological women and biological men who feel like they should be a woman or a man.
Yeah, I feel like with unisex people, I feel like they have the right to, choose like whatever they feel on the inside. I do feel like it's a feeling, like how you're a girl, and I know I'm a girl. Like I feel like a girl. Like I don't know. Like I just feel like they should have the option to choose, like they do. And I just feel like it shouldn't be like people in disarray about the whole situation. Like these are the way these people feel, and I feel like it's mentally like. And if it's mentally, it's like you can't change a person's mindset.
And I think that gets back to my original thought. And it's like, if women can say, okay, you know what, I feel like a man, then what do biology have to do with how women should act? If I can be a woman and you say women, they are like this, they're the wombs, but then that means I should act like that, right? But what if I want to be a man? Then what? Then that goes out the window. Then being the womb and being the place of energy goes out the window because I want to be a man.
Yeah, I just feel like it shows like we should have our own say so on our own lives.
And not even that. There has to be a balance when it comes to ideology. Depending on the culture, depending on the victors or the histories, who's ever writing the story is going to place certain characteristics on what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman. Each generation, each culture, each shift, that changes a little. And the reason why I feel like there's unbalanced men like AKON, we can run his video back here in a minute in case anybody's new. The reason why I feel like it's an unbalance of that is because men and women don't understand the ideas of men and women are shifting.
Yeah.
The ideology of what it is to be a man and what it is to be a woman is shifting. So a lot of people are unbalanced by that because they're used to people thinking and behaving a specific way.
Accordingly, like
exactly.
That's not
so
that.
He says the feminine is a receptive energy. However, they have the choice in what to receive. The men are the giving energy, and therefore they have the right to choose who they give to. Then okay, that's the thing. That's the thing. I'll give that. But how does that then translate into how we supposed to act as society? That means I'm supposed to be waiting for something to give to me and choosing that. Let me see. It says the idea that the feminine doesn't have the go get it and the ambition and desire and ability to take care of himself and make moves is a misnomer. These are traits that are traditionally considered masculine. So independency can be considered masculine. And you know what? I have heard that rhetoric a lot. So me being independent is masculine. I think that this goes back to history because back then women could not get into houses, could not have money or access to jobs because they were not a woman. The feminine energy from them was to get married and have a man to support them. However, now we're becoming more independent where we don't need a man. Now that is masculine. How is that masculine to want to be self-sufficient, especially with most men out here that don't mind for a woman to take care of them? There are a lot of men. That's why I said it's unbalanced. There's a lot of men who rather their women go out and make money while they sit at home and play video games. Not anybody I talk to. Not anybody I dated, but I'm just saying. It's like, and I think Ron Daniels, I think he makes sense and I can understand exactly where he's coming from. But I think it's bigger than that. I think that culturally, depending on your culture, that's how you identify a woman and a man. But I think it needs to go deeper than that. Can you join the stream? Yes, you can join the stream. Yes, honey. Come up here, honey. All you got to do is click the light. Ron Daniel's going to come up in the stream. Before he comes up, let me play this video back of AKON basically saying man or God because they actually create life.
Her role is to support the man. The man, we are the kings and the divine of this universe. A woman can never compare to the man. They have to understand that here in America. The women don't create life. They support the creation of life. The man is who create life.
Every time I say it, they laugh at me.
Man, we're gods. We the ones that create life. And let me give you an example of the science of it. A man right now can create life without a woman, but a woman can't create life without a man. If I wanted to create life right now without a woman, I would just shoot my sperm, put it in the incubator, and just give it 9 months, even maybe less with today's science, and a baby will be born. A woman can't do that. So men, we are the creators of life in actuality.
They trying to hatch some chickens. That's what that was.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9. It's just a joke. Come on. Don't really.
Okay, we have Ron Daniels in the back, so we're gonna bring him up. Thanks for joining the stream.
Absolutely. Like I said, I couldn't type fast enough to keep up with y'all. So,
well, thank you. I think that your point of views are very crystal clear. However, I just want deep information to understand how does that translate and how we're supposed to interact with the world. What about you, Darish?
Okay. What I've been getting at is this, right? The feminine, as far as an energy, has always been more receptive. However, the choice to choose what to receive is paramount, as I said earlier. Now, here is where things get murky. A lot of people think that women who use consequential thinking, who have ambition, who are logical in the way that they attack life, are quote unquote masculine, because that is what societal pressures and other things have said that's not true. That's a human trait, not a feminine or masculine trait. That's why you get a lot of men, oh, she's so masculine because she's out here getting after it and using logic and able to drive, back her car into a freaking parking space. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of misnomers when it comes to what is inherently feminine versus what is inherently masculine, and that's what I mean by the double standards. Also, that being said, because both sides have have access to ambition, go get it, logic, emotion, etc., it shouldn't be men do this and women do that. It's always been an and. Everything in this world, in this matrix style world, has always been or. And that's where things get confused.
So basically what you're saying is we both have man or masculine and feminine energies.
Correct.
Yes.
So depending on how you play it, you can be more masculine or more feminine.
Correct.
So when it comes to a woman and so societal ideas of a woman, then what is that?
Okay. And now what I'm about to say, I do not personally believe, but according to what I've seen in society, and I'm sure what you have, there is a level of reception from the idea that a man is supposed to give it to you. Not reception from you going and getting it for yourself, as well as possibly having a man give it to you. Does that make sense?
So it's like giving you what, perhaps, like.
Okay, for instance, the feminine as an energy field can be very expansive, very chaotic, and not as structured. And I put structured in air quotes, depending on the woman, as say the energy field of a masculine that actually does have those things. So that's where the idea of, logic and structure and rigidity is masculine. No, that's not necessarily true. It's just that is where we've seen it for so long. That's where the I won't say brainwashing, but the conditioning comes in.
Yes. And how I feel about it is it's more of a control factor too. Because even with some societies in Middle Eastern, and how the woman has to be the one to cover up. And I actually spoke to someone who's a Muslim before, and they said it's for protection. They don't want men to feel like they can attack or rape their women or
sexualize them
in a sexual idea. So they cover the woman. But then you have to understand what are you representing? Like, just because men can control themselves, women now have to alter their reality based upon the emotions and intentions of a man. So to me, it comes back to controlling. How do you feel about that?
See, and having been in the Middle East as a part of my profession, I have mixed feelings about that, to be honest. Because here's the thing. According to their religious texts, those who follow that religion, that is what is prescribed by that book. However, I do agree with you to a point that it is about control just as much as it is about the perceived protection. But what I will say is this: any man who cannot control his sexual urges, is he really truly a man?
Is that
you don't have self-control?
Yeah. So it really comes down to, as you were saying earlier, what is the true definition of a man?
Yeah.
I really don't feel like it's a true definition. I just really feel like we're always just one. Like, we're all equal. I feel like we're just, as a human, we just putting the emphasis on the situation.
I agree to a point. And the reason I say it like that is because, yes, we are both of the human race. Yes, we both bleed red. We both have 206 bones and all the arteries and veins and capillaries. All of the internals are the same. But to say that men and women are quote unquote equal, I don't quite know about that. And I only say that from this perspective. When things go sideways, whether it be war, famine, anything that is a imminent hardship, that is something that is beyond the capability of the person that is going through it, who do they run to?
It could be iffy.
It can be because you can go to your mama.
Yeah.
You can.
We have a date with your mama.
If
We
she
got a
has
crazy
the...
Mama!
Right, exactly. And that's the fact that you answered it that way is perfect, because it goes into what I'm about to say next. You run to the person who has the strength and capacity to understand the problem, help you figure out what your next move in that problem is, and then execute said solution. Now, is that necessarily, women only, men only? No, I don't agree. But what I will say is, in my experience, especially me, I've been that person 85% of the time. So therefore, I don't say that there's an inequality based on just, man versus woman. It's mindset of that man versus that woman.
Yes. And I think, and that's what I believe. I think it's the culture wise, but I do understand what you're saying, because it's going back to the physical of a man. When you really think about physically, when there's some shit that's going down, who's going to have the most power to help you get out the situation physically? And that's when you would say a man. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
okay.
Very
So
much
you're
so.
saying just because a man offers, or it's easier for a man to offer protection and providing, because back then even the men used to go hunt and actually get the food, while the woman cleans and and prepares the food. It's always been like that throughout the culture. So that's what you're coming from as far as protection and provide.
Correct.
But is that now in this current culture, is that reality the same?
Enough to withhold the standard?
Yes, enough to withhold that same energy when now women are more independent.
Yeah, we're more masculine. Like, it's more masculine females than it was
there are.
Back in the day.
You're 100% correct about that. There are more women providing and protecting their and see, here's the other, and this is the other part to this that makes it really murky when you start trying to delineate into boxes.
Right.
The feminine has always been the protectress, but not in the way that we think of it in today's society. She's always protected the young. You know what happens when you mess with mama's babies.
That's true.
There ain't no force in this world that's ready for that smoke.
That's just like Mama Bear. You don't really hear stuff like, oh, when you see a cub, you don't say, oh, the father might be around. They say the mother might be around.
Exactly.
That's the one you got to worry about.
You got to worry about that mama, because it's not going to be too far away from that daddy. But the daddy bear 3 woods away, fucking another mama bear
and stuff with his side bear cubs and mothers.
But see, that's the thing. The animal kingdom is well, I wouldn't say backwards, but nature states. You look at lions, you look at tigers, you look at bears, you look at a lot of the animal kingdom. The woman is the protectress, and in lions' case, is the huntress, right? So it's a lot. There's a lot of murkiness when you look at it if you look at the animal kingdom versus us. The lionesses are the ones going out and killing the antelope. Yeah, the man knows how to fight and and everything, but she's that killer.
I didn't know
And
that.
so in this society, because women, I believe, have had that propensity for violence that men tend to. Okay, let me back up. When two men deal with each other, there is a subconscious knowledge that it could devolve to violence, right? When two women, one-on-one deal with each other, especially from our more urban sets, right? There is they know that there could be a propensity for violence. However, when we're talking about male versus female, that's where things break down. Because there is not the same propensity for violence when it comes to intergender relationships. Because most men have been taught you don't hit a woman under any circumstances unless your life is in danger.
Now, but you see how that's unbalanced now. You see how many people are being killed by their boyfriends.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I understand that's unbalanced. But by the same token, and this is why I say men and women are not meant to be equal, as I call it. Because here's the thing, if you hit me, right, we're just going to put this on Front Street right quick. If you hit me and I react, I'm the bitch because you're a woman and I should be able to handle that shit.
No, and I feel like that's absolutely incorrect. Like, I feel like a woman shouldn't put their hands on on a male just as much as the male shouldn't put his hands on a female, because I just feel like you can talk beyond your hands.
But I get his point. Because generally
that's
what you're supposed to handle. I think what you're saying is, no, you're not supposed to just handle it, but you're not supposed to hit them with the equal force. It's not. You can't. If a woman hit you, you're supposed to be able to restrain her, do something. So if a woman hits you in your face, like bam, and then a man come back and do the same thing, that's when it's going to be a problem, because it's like there's a different way you could have handled that, because she's a woman, she can't hit you.
But it should have been justified on the woman's behalf before she even allowed herself to let it go down that path with her putting her hands on him. Now you can't put just growing up, like when we grow up, your mama said somebody hit you, hit them bad, period.
Yeah.
So it's like we know not to hit nobody. We know to talk with our mouths and not our hands.
But that's not the reality.
But you cannot expect to just, I'll just hit him in his face and you just gonna, don't do that. Don't do that no more.
Now, see, that
I don't expect for him to react that way.
We know that, and we as melanated people know that, because how many times have we gotten in fights with our cousins, nephews, whatever, because they thought it was sweet and we had to let them know, right?
Yeah.
But greater society does not have that same teaching.
No, they do not. No, that's what I'm trying to say. It depends, because what it looks like if a woman fight, there's different, because they both most likely generally have the same force.
Mm-hmm.
A man's force is so much greater than a woman's force. So that's why they're looking at it like that. Now, in general, hell yeah, if you hit somebody, you're going to get hit back. Just because you don't know how to fight, that's on you, because shit, you shouldn't hit nobody. But the capacity for a man to fuck up a woman is way more higher than a woman to actually damage a man. A man can happen.
I agree and I disagree, and I'll explain both sides. If we're talking about pure strike force, yes, I completely agree with you. Yes, it has been proven that men have more, have denser muscle usually, because there are some women. I know some women who can knock the block off a dude straight up.
Right, me too. But generally,
generally, if you're talking about, like I said, strike force, yes, absolutely, all day long. More muscle mass. We train differently. We're more upper body heavy, etc. Right? But when we're talking about the woman's ability to damage a man, I disagree partially, and I'll say why. Me being former military, I we did combatives, with women all the time. If the fight goes down to the ground, as long as the woman has the knowledge of how strong her legs actually are, she can do fucking damage.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, men are very much upper body, right? We're always training chest and shoulders and arms and all that other shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dealing with a woman who's been through childbirth a couple times, she's got, the bigger thighs and everything else. That's more muscle that you have access to, one, for kicking, because we both know that the legs are the power plant of the human body. But more to the point, if you're talking about a woman of some stature, she locks her legs around your rib cage, or she starts squeezing. I don't know if you follow Girl Army. There's I cannot remember the creator's name right now, but basically she crushes watermelons between her legs all day long, right?
I think I've seen that.
Yeah. So imagine that type of force wrapped around your rib cage, or worse, wrapped around your throat.
Oh yeah, you passed that or even dead.
Mm-hmm. So when you say that that women don't have the propensity to damage men the same way, I disagree with you. It is a matter of knowing how.
That's what I was about to say. But on an average woman and an average man.
Oh, average woman.
That's
average
what
man,
I mean by that. Because
I
somebody that's in a special ops, of course, they're gonna be able to fly.
Yeah.
Do you think an average woman? You think a special force woman and the special force man, who will win most of the time, or it just depends?
It honestly depends. It really does, because the man, in general, special operations or not, is, wait a minute, she's not, especially if, okay, let me back up. If the man has the same training we do, like, you don't hit a woman unless it's critically necessary, she's going to do more damage before he actually ends it.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about somebody who is not from that school, he could one-hit quitter, right? I mean, it's possible. Is it likely? I don't think so. Depends on how strong her jaw is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, most of these men who are overpowering these women, it's not necessarily physical. It's more mental. Because at the end of the day, right? I'm 6'2", 6'3", about 260, right? I do have a decent sized frame. But a woman who knows, for instance, if she's quick enough, can hit, like, just punch her jugular real quick, you're going to drop. Right? If she, for instance, let's say she was in the military, she knows pressure points, she could drop you from any part of your body. But when you're in a situation where you're in that fight or flight, the problem that a lot of women, a lot of people have, is calming the mind enough to be able to get to that knowledge.
Yeah.
That is the difference, I believe, between men and women in that situation. Most women, their first thought is, oh my God, help me, not, I'm about to wreck this fool.
And you think more men, when they fight men, is more, I'm about to wreck this food, to where women are women. So you saying when it comes to that, the difference is women will need protection where men will be the offensive.
I wouldn't say necessarily that women just need protection. They desire protection. Because we all know that woman who walks around the street dressed any way she want to be because they know she got them hands. Okay? But then you also have the girl next door types that if they were to get into a confrontation would be like, oh my God, please save me, help me. The damsel in distress perception, right? So that's why I say the differences between women and men is more mental than it is physical.
And that's where it comes from, a unbalance. And that's what we were saying before, it's more of your culture. I feel like your culture and your upbringing is what you identify as a man and as a woman, and
right.
Because if we go by biology and say, well, a man is stronger, a woman is this, what about the ideas when it comes to a transgender?
Okay, when it comes to transgender people, and this is one of those, like I said, this whole thing is
very
murky. But when you talk about transgender people, it gets even worse because what they're dealing with is the energy they wish to present to the world is different from their biology. That is fundamentally what it is. Yeah. Like if I were a man and I decided to be transgender, it would be me saying that my feminine energy is what I want to put out to the world. So I would dress that way. I would do all those extra things, right? Whereas with women wanting to go the other way, it's a suppression, in my mind at least. It's a suppression of the feminine to allow the masculine to come through. Right? So that's why it's like, wait a minute, your anatomy says you're a guy, but you present as a woman. This is confusing to most people. Or like the mask femmes, as I like to call them, the ones who are female, but dress, act, run like a man, right? They want that masculine presence to be there, right?
Right.
So that's what they lead with. So that, like I said, and that goes back to what I had said probably 15 minutes ago. It's an and, not an or.
Right. Because if a transgender, once they say they want to be a man, then now they have to present what that is. So when we talk about the biological factors that determine, that goes out the window, because now she's wanting to be a man. She's going to have those characteristics of what society at that time deem as a man, because it can't go back on biology because she's a woman. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's different times.
It's different. So that's why this title of the show, and I'm glad you came up and gave your piece, because I think a lot of educated men and a lot of men with that perspective probably have the same view as you, which makes sense. Like you said, there are some things that are fundamentally different from a man and a woman.
Yeah.
However, it is, and it doesn't, it's not it's or and not just a man, just a woman.
Right, correct.
So I appreciate your views on that. And thank you for coming up. If you want to shout out anything, any of your,
thank
YouTube
you
channels
for serving in the military. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Actually, like I said, I happened to be scrolling by. I saw you were live, and it was a topic I thought I could, throw some thoughts into. So, as far as businesses, I actually am a IT guy by trade, so I tend to do like computer work and stuff like that for my day job. But much more than that, like I said, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing, so I didn't have a whole elevator pitch set up. I was just coming in to drop knowledge on this specific subject. But one last thing I do want to say, and I'm glad that we're having a conversation like this, because too many people, women should just do this, and men should just do that. I am sick of that shit.
Me too.
Tell me about it.
Just, yeah, like you were talking about how the whole, like the double standards, like, like you said, men can have 4 or 5 wives. He's a player. He's a rich guy. He's this, he's that. And then on the flip side, it's like, oh, that's devaluing and stuff. I know a lot of the people who will be listening to this are probably more feminine, but here's the thing. And this is something I actually got from a feminine creator. Use the double standards to your advantage. If men are the standard of measurement, quote unquote, right? They say the more men that you sleep with, the lower your value goes. Cut them off.
What you mean by cut them off?
Meaning, limit the amount of men that you give yourself to. Meaning, don't make sure that when you decide to get with a man or a person, right? Because we inclusivity, right?
Right.
that it is the person that you actually want to be with, that you have done you have vetted them, you have tested them against your value structure, against your standards and belief systems, right? If that Nancy Jezebel over there has done fooled around with all these guys, and that's what's making them think of her as a quote hoe, right? That double standard when it comes to the woman who's only been with 2 or 3 guys is used, like I said, learning how to use that to your advantage. Okay, I've only been with 2 or 3 people. My value is now, according to men at least, is elevated. Are they going to find other reasons to discredit you? Probably, if they're weak as fuck. But use the double standards that exist in society to your advantage.
I get that, but I also feel like the double standard to me is not, it's not to say, oh, you shouldn't be a hoe or you should go out there and Amber Rose the situation. It's more to say if we are devaluing women for having multiple sex partners, then we should also devalue men. And that I'm saying the same energy should go towards it, because I believe, honestly, it is beneficial to both parties to actually have that frame of mind if I'm going to have sex with someone, because a lot of people have sex and have babies by accident, and we wonder why our society is living like this, because we don't take sex serious. No. I wish I would have took it serious more than a pleasure, and maybe I wouldn't have made some decisions that I made. So
you ain't lying there either.
I understand the importance of it, but in our society, sex is thrown in our face like it's nothing, like it's not sacred. Yeah. So especially when you have this idea that a man can do it, it still screws society, because you still have women like Amber Rose and people of the slut walk that still feels like, well, if they can do it, we can do it. And I feel like that is pushing back on us as well, because I feel like it should both have negative connotations for both men and women, because even if men doing it, you fucking 4 or 5 women, just like Nick Cannon, you like it, but you can't be there 100% for all those children. True. So now those children growing up without a stable father in their life. Yeah. So either way, it's still devaluing our culture, our people. So I think both connotations for a man and a woman should be negative, because when they're both are not balanced, no matter if a woman or a man, when it's not balanced, when it's not taken, importance, sex is not important in America. It's something you can throw away. It's a one night stand. It's Vegas. It's TV. It's Pornhub.com. So when we start having children, we start having sex, we get these STDs, we get baby mamas, we get child support. We're not looking at it like that. A lot of people talk about, oh, if I do it, you should do it, but it's deeper than that.
You're right. And that's and see, this is where, we're saying the same thing, but 2 different ways. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm of the school that says, if that's what you wish to do with your life, by all means, it does not affect me.
Yeah.
If you want to be a man, go ahead. If you want to be, Jezebel down the street throwing at anybody, by all means, do you. But I don't think there should be a negative connotation based off the amount of partners. The negative connotation should come from the lack of consequential thinking in the actions of the people who commit those type of things.
What? And that's my point too, because being a hoe or being a player, you also have to be a liar. More than likely, a player is somebody who's a liar, more than likely. And that characteristic sometimes gets swept under the rug, because you be wondering why your man snitched on you, but you see that he cheats on his girlfriend or his wife every single motherfucking Tuesday, and you wonder how you got thrown under the bus. We're not looking at, even if you are a player or a hoe, how much of your value did you degrade to have those actions? Because you can be a hoe and keep it real. Mm-hmm. You really can, but can you be a player and keep it real?
Yes, you can. Is it the way that most people go? No, because that takes a level of confrontation that honestly the modern man doesn't really want to get into.
I feel like you can when you're rich. and when you have something of value, more women they're gonna be down with having 4 or 5. Not all, but it's more likely when you have the resources. These broke men, to me, that be having 10, 20, 12 baby mamas that feel like they can call themselves a player. For me, like,
but you're still unacceptable, money or no money.
Yeah.
True.
I don't think it's acceptable, money or no money, but like, for example, that's just our culture.
Yeah.
In the Middle East, the more money you have, the more wives legally you can have, as long as you can support them. So we look at it in this country like, damn, and other countries, because more than likely, you got to understand, when they do have wives, it's the same household, more than likely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're helping
you're able to be there,
community in one house.
Mm-hmm. Right. So to us, it's like, that's trifling. You got all these wives. Oh my God. Well, not even wives, because you can't legally get married to all of them here. But you can't be that open in America because of the legality behind it.
Oh, well, yeah. If we're talking about legality, then yeah, that's where that's also where part of the culture breaks down.
The culture. Exactly. Because do you think it's right to be a polygamist?
Right is not the word I would choose. Okay. And that's how I'll say that. Do I believe that people should have the opportunity, provided they can take care of insert number of wives? Yes. Would I personally become one? No. I have a hard enough time dealing with one woman on their monthly, let alone 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Especially when their period starts to sink and shit. How y'all gonna deal with that?
I dealt with that once. I'm good on that, because I had about 10 days to make sure I got everything I needed, wanted, or desired out of my mama, grandmother, and sister all at the same time. I knew from the 21st to the 31st was time to get everything ratified. From the 1st to the 20th, it was game over. I was scared. You understand me? So, yeah. Nope, not me. Yeah. Like I said, it's fun for the occasional, menage, but long term, no.
That's funny. Well, is there any ending thoughts or anything else you want to add to the conversation before you go?
Yep, I'm gonna take off here in a little bit, but the last thought is, like I said before, remember that energy is an and, not an or. There is a flow of both masculine and feminine energy in every person, whether male, female, transgender, non-binary, it don't flip and matter, right? So to assume that you have to be one or the other is completely asinine, and that the feminine and masculine have to have separate traits is also a misnomer as well. That's my final thought. You ladies have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, Ron. Well, listen, I honestly learned a lot, and I'm glad when people come up here and give us their perspective, especially somebody who's very educated and good with their words, honey. He came and gave us the tea, honey. So, Darisha, what did you take out from that? What did you take from his perception?
Basically what we've been saying, like, they just put too much on the whole situation, and I really feel like this is just a cultural thing. Like, it plays a big part in it, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just like accepting, like, certain people like this and certain people like that, but who are we to judge these people because of what they feel in their heart that they want or they need? It's just like being in a polygamous. It's just like, honestly, especially if you're like boyfriend and girlfriend, like, I just feel like we put too much into being in a relationship. Like, we be wanting a guy to just, be our everything, knowing that, you learn, like, from even different people, like, you learn, but how are you going to be able to learn if y'all just tied down to one another? Like,
so would you be open to polygamy? Darisha.
I wouldn't say no, and I wouldn't say yeah. Not play with me. But
listen,
like you shouldn't like if we're not married, then we're not tied down to each other. We don't like if we just getting to know each other. I don't know. My end, I feel like I've been in a relationship so long, I ain't get a chance to know me. So it was easy for me to get, persuaded by a male. Like, and it could be a male that wasn't even steering in the right path himself, but it was just like me thinking on my heart and not my mental. It had me going down some straight lines. So let me get this back in order. So
right. Well, let me go ahead and have another video clip about man perception of women and culture views. Okay. And this is Armand. He's a very popular YouTube star. I don't know if you heard of him before. He's dating Reginae, Lil Wayne's daughter.
Yeah,
so let's go ahead and see one of his perspectives that I found very interesting.
There is nothing weak at all about showing the woman you love love. Yes. There's nothing weak about it. Like, I don't understand. I don't get this narrative y'all run with or how y'all, what it is, but there's nothing weak about it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like what makes like stuff look weak is when a man say he give his loyalty to a woman that he sleep with every night, but she don't.
Right. That's
I'm
weak.
just going to be honest.
That's weakness.
But you can look at me and tell me that
you're weak because you are loyal.
Yeah. Or you can look at me and say, I can trust you. Oh, you can trust me, gang. You can trust me. But bro, I watch you. That's the girl that you saying the same shit to.
Right. So what
like, and you actually sleeping with her. This is your girl.
Right.
So I just, yeah, man, I really don't get where, you know what I'm saying? And it be the suckers like the dude, you know what I'm saying, who try to put this in these young men head that's weak.
Another thing about society that we have to fight as Black people is the stereotypical ideas of not associating bad behavior towards women as a character flaw within that man. Just like Armand was saying, you cheat on a woman that you claim you love, how can I trust you? And people be so committed to bros over hoes. Not all men, because there's some men that's like Armand, like, if I love my woman, I'm going to shout it out. We really don't see men do that. And I'm not saying all men. But what I have to say is that creates an unbalanced nature, an unbalanced society. And we are the products of that. Single mother households, men that have multiple baby mamas, men that are not getting married. Because a lot of times, you see these women, it's like, oh, why you're not married? But it's also the man's job to marry the women. So if it's a man's job to marry the woman, but he's getting me pregnant and not asking to marry me, is it my fault that I'm not married? Some people will say yes. I say no to that because that takes another level of commitment that men are just not ready for. And not all men, but it is okay to love your partner. And I see this in our community every day with the future perspective and the Russell Wilson perspective. You have men who wants to do right by their woman, they get called corny. You have men that raps about fucking 15 different women and they're the men. And look how that flows in our community. Now, more than likely, there's a little boy being raised by a single mom. I mean, I even had men say it's okay if he rich. Even if you have money, the presence of your father in your household is so impactful on your life. Even Mariah Carey is now going for full custody because Nick Cannon do not have enough time to be in his kid's life because he's making babies every Tuesday. And I say that to say this. What is it going to take for us to look at each other differently? What is it? Because if we don't, where are we going? It's like a sin to love sometimes. It's people have been hurt. They don't want to let their guard down. we are more independent. There's men who feel like women being independent is more masculine, meaning taking their energy, taking their role. So it's like, where my role at if you're more masculine? So my question is, where do we go from that? And I think, my page, Divine Honesty, also if I'm on 3 Real Talk, I try to put more positive influences in our life and more positive ideas, because it starts with the ideology of the culture. Then that's how people operate. Even though in our culture, women has to have more value connected to their body, but is that all women are? We just a product of who we sleep with? Our value is determined on our body. And you see that a lot in today's world, in today's society. The the importance of my body, which makes my value. Is there nothing else we're giving value to when it comes to women? Is everything about us just sex?
Our characteristics.
Yeah. Is there anything else about being with a woman that she should be valued about?
Her nurturing ways.
A what?
Her nurturing ways.
And I think that's individually. And I think the trans community and the LGBT community is really progressive in a manner, because it's making us rethink what it is to be a man and what it is to be a woman. Because yes, there's biological differences, but past that, what's the difference? We're so used to putting oppositions out there and opposites out there that we're not understanding. It don't matter. It depends on you. Because if a woman is going to work providing, is it wrong if a man stay home with the children?
No, but you have. I feel like if you do that you will have to withhold the household,
just like a woman would have to.
Yeah. So it's just no difference. Be off and you're not working. You're not working, but you spend all your days just on a game system.
Okay, yeah, that's a no for me.
Yeah, it's a no. Like
that's a no for me.
You gonna have to get the kids cleaned up, like feed them and all that. Cause I'm making the money. Like I should have to go out, work, then come home and do home stuff too. If that's the case, then what are you here for?
Right. And another thing, I think that a lot of men, not all men, but a lot of men is having to come to the reality that just being a man is not cutting it anymore. And I think that's scary for some men too. And that's why they quit to say women are independent. Women need this. Women need that. They shouldn't act like this. How do I know? This is because essentially, yes, you need each other to create. But there are women who don't want kids.
Yeah. So they're perfectly fine alone.
There's women who like other women. And I think this whole thing is causing breakdowns against some men. Honestly, like AKON said, the man should be treated like God, but not the woman.
Yeah, it's just like, where do a woman life is valued at? Basically, like, where do we stand in the world if we're unneeded, or you're portrayed, or you're like, broadcasting to the world that a female is basically nothing,
or less than a man.
Yeah, compared to a male.
And another thing I think is a man, and this is the thing about religion too. You already know my spill on religion, but they're trying to take, like Kanye, I'm a God. Women should submit to a man because they're God. God says humans should worship it or him because it's God. It's all about the power. And that's why when you have history, you have his story. What about her story? What about religion? Most religions don't have a female perspective.
Mm-mm.
What about Mother Earth and Mother Nature?
And that's crazy. I just that you said that like that. Like history is his story. Because it practically is. Like you don't hear nothing about no female. Like it's
what
Roger Roosevelt said, or Franklin said, or George Washington, and like it's never. Where was the women? Like,
and I think women
didn't have. Yeah, they didn't have the, the opportunity back then to be on a panel like the judges back then when they was wearing them white wigs.
Oh yeah, they couldn't even vote. Women didn't have a voice, and that's why I'm saying that comes from cultures, because not every culture believed that. And I think that if women did start to gain power, it will not all men, but men will feel like they're inferior, because the only time some men feel empowered is if they're over someone. And some men don't have anything going on for them where they feel like they are a man of something, or having power of something, or being on top of something. Because a lot of times being a man has a lot of comes with a lot of, not I wouldn't say allegations, but comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And real men, they have to do this, they got to be this, they should have money, they should have this, they should have that.
But that's what they portray on themselves. That's the way they feel.
Yeah, that's the way they feel, but that's also the way of society.
Yeah.
But not these new men. I mean, we have new men who are perfectly okay with moving into their girlfriend's house.
Mm-hmm.
That they're more. I know more women that have their own place, not just because Section 8 and low income, but I still know more women with their own place than men.
That's paying bills.
How did that? What happened? So if anybody have any feedback or anything they want to put, or anything they want to say, look at Quiz. He's gonna say yeah because of Section 8. So you think Section 8, but at the same time, because I didn't have people say stuff like that, and
it's like, good to go Section 8.
But not only that, if I'm raising the kids, I should be on Section 8. A man, if y'all not raising the kids, y'all get the kids every fucking weekend, because if you do have custody of the kids, you can get on Section 8 too. But so it's about kids. So if you don't have your kids, you should have 2 or 3 jobs. You shouldn't need no damn Section 8, because you're not having to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
A woman who's a single mother, or women who get Section 8 and vouchers and low income. So if I cannot literally work 2 or 3 jobs because I have to take care of my kids, okay, that's the reason why people get Section 8 and low income as women. And you can do that if you are a single man with kids. But most of the time, the mothers have the kids. So if you don't have to have these kids 24/7, you get them every now and then, there's no way you should be not have no place to stay, because you can literally have 2 to 3 jobs, because you do not have to raise kids every single day. So you, instead of being jealous, because a lot of men get jealous and say, oh, it's because of this, but you're not raising your kids.
You're not taking care of your child.
So therefore, you should have enough time to get your own place.
And do you not want your child to have a great upbringing? Like,
Where's laughing? It's giving women more opportunities than a man, because this is the thing. People don't understand what Section 8 is and what low income is. Well, he said that's true. Low income and Section 8 are for single people who have custody of their kids or disability. So if you have, because I have met a man who has Section 8 because he had kids. Most men don't have their kids full time. That's why they cannot get Section 8. Section 8 is just not, oh, you're a woman, you get it. That's this rhetoric that I have seen through TikTok and podcasts. Oh, it's because of the government. It's because of the government. No, it's because we have the kids. We cannot work 24/7. Whereas the men, most of them get the kids every weekend, and most of them get the kids never. You know what I mean? So you have more time to create income. That's the reason why. So I feel like we need to get that message out there very clearly, that it's not just because the woman can go to the government, because you can too if you have sole custody of your kids. You got to step back and look at the situation because it was created like that. It was created like that. And I think the breakdown of men going to jail, of men with drugs, that creates a lot of fatherless homes. So with that being said, a lot of women didn't have those two incomes to support themselves. So instead of just being out in the fucking streets, they went and got Section 8. So it is it is a cause and effect to everything, but it does not mean women are more at an advantage just because they have government assistance. No, it does not mean that, because a man, due to you not having custody of your children, or you're not being full providers for your kids, you then have enough time after day to work way more and get way more money. Because a lot of people don't understand, once you reach a certain limit on Section 8 or government assistance, you don't get that anymore. You got to pay full rent. Trust me, I know. You got to pay full rent. So it's only for people who literally cannot afford it. And because they can't work 2 or 3 jobs because they have kids. So when people say situations, you got to look at what's really going on. You got to look at the facts. It's not just because, oh, you're a woman, so you get to just go on Section 8. No, that's not how it is. And not a lot of niggas will go through the process to legally get custody. Exactly, because a lot of them live with their girlfriends. And Section 8. You said true, niggas be so dumb in the end. True shit. Take kids out the equation. If you take kids out the equation, you can't get Section 8. That's the only reason why you can get Section 8 unless you're disabled. If I don't have kids, I can't get Section 8. So kids is the reason why people get Section 8. Put 2 people in a situation, no kids. Who's coming out their parent house first and who's staying behind? Women coming out first. And men are staying more behind. There's more men living with their mama than more women. Am I lying, y'all?
It's kind of nowadays. It's kind
exactly. But see, like my brother, for example, he got his own place. His daughter, half of the time, there are men out there. So I don't want to make it seem as all men think like this and all men behave like this, because that's not true. Like my brother, he got his own shit. You know what I'm saying? He get his daughter most of the times. You know what I mean? But that is very, 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 very rare.
Yeah, it's very.
He's one of the only men I know that do that. Honestly.
Yeah.
You know any other man that's doing that like my brother? You know? I don't.
Nobody that could finesse that baby mama 2 times. That's not some favorites. He finessed her ass 2 times. Finesse 2 times.
But I don't think it was a finesse thing. I think also.
You don't think it was a finesse thing?
I think it's because
he knew what he
knows that Quez is actually there.
Yeah, but he knew what he had to do as a man, and as a man being brought up in a society like with these mothers and stuff that they be having nowadays. It's just like, woo, let me go get my baby. Like, you got like majority. Oh, you said it was a. That's how you finessed it 2 times.
Yeah, definitely delete that. But I don't think what's finesse because it would only be a finesse if he really wasn't there for her.
Yeah.
But if he's really half time doing everything, like if you really like that, then okay. So I think if I was a baby mama and my kids can really be their half with their dad, and their dad was like my brother, I wouldn't put them on child support either. I would do half and half too. So I don't think that was a finesse. If you're really gonna do half and half, hell, I'm gonna do it too. We're gonna half and half this thing. And I think that's very rare for a man to do. A man would be quick to say he can't see his kids, he can't do this and that, but nothing about court and papers. If that's the case, if you can't see your kid, why you ain't in court? Especially if she got you on child support.
Because they don't be trying to go through all that. They don't be caring.
They don't really be wanting them kids.
No, they just be wanting
Are we lying, y'all?
They be wanting to female. Oh, well, let me throw you. I'm going to get my kid. Get them then, Sam.
I mean, I even have things where people say, oh, I seen that's nice. I even hear people say, oh, you got a new boyfriend, let your boyfriend do it. I had an ex tell me that and tell my cousin that.
No.
You feel me? Like, I didn't have that happen to me. Let your boyfriend do it. Let y'all not be in a relationship. A lot of times, a lot of men don't want kids by the people they have kids with. And then there's men who get women pregnant on purpose.
Yeah. As a trap. Like,
as a trap.
Since I got you got my kids, nobody ain't gonna want you type stuff. But no, sir.
How backwards that is. They'd rather give a woman a kid than give them the marriage and then say why you ain't married. It's not up to a woman to get married. Most men are supposed to propose. So why there's not a lot of married men? I never got that rhetoric. Oh, you're just going to be alone and you're not going to get married. It's not up to me to even marry me. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, marriage is not going to break or make me. But I just think with this video, we have to be more loving and balanced as a culture, because it's not just unbalanced men. There are unbalanced women. Hell, sometimes I'm imbalanced. And I think coming to a platform with like-minded individuals hopefully will lead us to make better decisions. And we just got to be real. A lot of this shit is unbalanced. A lot of this shit is not fair. And it comes out as imbalance. More single mother households, okay? More men that have 10 and 20 kids. More women that have 2 or 3 baby daddies. Where is this coming from? So if we have any views, we have anybody that wants to come up and talk about their situations, you can. I'm going to go ahead and leave out with this video of this Karen getting cussed the fuck out. I think it is so funny. And we're going to go ahead and watch this and then get out of here.
You told me to go back to Oakland, right? Let me tell your dusty, dirty, dingy, mannequin-built ass something. You don't tell me where the fuck to go. When you leave your house, you old, stanky ass lady, you are in the world. So you don't tell me to go back to Oakland. You take your grateful pussy ass to Oakland. Get your funky mask ass to Oakland. You got a whole COVID-19 fit on with your dusty ass. You the reason why this shit is here. You got hella senior citizen spit on your motherfucking sweater telling somebody to go to Oakland.
Huh? Talking for a minute. Huh? Can you control your mouth for a minute?
You need to control your ass because it stinks. You need to go get in the wheelchair. Get your old funky ass about here telling somebody to go back to Oakland. You're an okay, I got you 80-something years old. Your age don't matter. It seems like you're racist because you see me riding by and you tell a black person to go back to Oakland. So it's black people in Oakland, right? Ain't no black people in Alameda?
There's more white people who live in
Oakland. Okay, well get your dusty, wrinkle bag, trash face having ass up out of here then. Don't tell no black person to go back to Oakland. You can't tell me where to go, all right? I'm fucking grown.
We are not our ancestors. You would get cussed the fuck out. I just thought that was funny as hell. But let me go ahead and do our outro. Thank you for everybody that is watching, that comment, that shared, that gave your opinion. Make sure you like this video and share this video. And we're definitely out.
Tap in. This is Risha J. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm giving you the little pointers or whatever.